Hello everyone, this is Nomarin for the Alchemist Trinity, and today I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of Dwarf Fortress. Now what you're going to want to download is the Lazy New Pack. That makes it extremely easy to set up the game, and for newcomers it will also provide the graphics pack. I'm using the, don't ask me how to pronounce that, la 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 la, and basically you're just going to configure it however you want. For the most part, you don't need to worry about that. You just need to click the play Dwarf Fortress. Need to edit the sound real quick because it is loud. Let me take care of that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so this is the main menu. It doesn't look like much, pretty simple. But what we're going to want to do is create a new world, so all you have to do is press the Enter key. This game is controlled primarily through the keyboard. There are a few mouse functions, but for the most part, it is keyboard. Which is really cool in some aspects, but it may be a little difficult for non-keyboard users. Alright, this is just alpha. This game's been in development for like 10-12 years. And we're just going to go over a quick explanation of this. The world size, which is what our cursor is on right now, you can make it either large, small, medium, or pocket. I normally go with medium. It generally gives me a good range of areas to choose to embark on, but you can choose any size that you want. History, I generally choose very long just so I get lots, but just for the sake of this I'm going to set it as medium because as the game is being created it actually generates all the history. This can take a very long time, especially depending on your processor. Number of civilizations, this is just how many people have gone out and set up shop. Generally a higher amount usually means you'll run into more aggressive races as well as peaceful races, but we're just going to keep on medium. Maximum number of sites, I'm not sure what this is, but I think it's the set how many biomes are in there, like how many deserts, how many desert types, how many tundra areas, etc. That's what I think this is. Don't quote me on that. Number of beasts, we're going to keep this on medium as well. This generally means how many creatures you'll run into. It can be peaceful, it can be aggressive, so generally it's okay. Natural savagery. I believe this has to deal with the underground beasts and terrors you can run into, like titans and all that. You generally don't want this too high unless you're actually trying for a hard game, which has a lot of fun. Mineral occurrence, I actually set this to frequent because if I set it to sparse, I never find anything, or I have to dig so deep. By the time I find some, I run into more trouble and I usually fail. Once you've done that, you just press Y, and it will start generating the world right before your eyes. This part right here at the top is the ice Arctic plate. There's also one towards the south, which you can't see at the moment. This is just a very small overview as the world's being generated. There you go. And these right here are the rivers. This purple stuff over here is evil lands. It's cursed. It has zombies. If you have a dead dwarf, it can raise back to the dead unless you bury it very quickly. Meat production here is extremely difficult. This bit over here, the gray, is obviously mountains. These are roads. These green parts are forests. I believe these N-like green parts are for flatlands, grasslands. Then you have deserts, beaches, and that's pretty much about it. And of course you have the ocean. Fun, kind of cool, you can actually move your cursor over to embark. You can look at the ocean, but you can't embark on it. Now over here you'll see it's prepared and created, built everything, just built the base world, and now it's going through and it's generating the historical figures, how many have died, and the events in this world. Which, after the world is generated, you can actually go through and explore every single person, every single story, every single event that this game's created, right down to the very last detail. It is a very detailed, very in-depth game, and it's all created randomly each time you play it. It's really, really impressive how well this game has been made, considering that it's still in alpha. Now, like I said, this is going to take a while, and I'm probably going to edit it out, and you'll see me probably, I think, in the year 250 is when the mid stops. So, yep, until then, I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we're at year 245. We should be finishing up just shortly. One more year after this. And there we go. Alright, it's finishing up the game now. There we go. And now we can actually look at it. Lisa. Okay, there we go. This little yellow cursor right here is us. So here's the Arctic plate down here at this bottom. And then there's another one up here. Then you have your deserts over here, water, mountain ranges, lots of mountain ranges, and of course a bit of evil land here, a little bit over here. So a little patch there and there. Then we have, I believe this is a tropical biome. So this would be like where the jungle and stuff are. This would be heavily forested and very, what's the other word? Lots of bushes and other greenery on the forest floor. And you can see a good portion of ocean. All this right here is tundra. This is frozen ice sheet. Some of it has land on it you can land on, but the majority of it is just ice sheet. As soon as you dig underneath of it, it's ocean. Then I believe this right here is extremely hot. And as you can see, as we're scrolling over stuff, it has names for everything. The continent of Jail, the national field. So this is a flat grassland. Then we have the desert of the drink, well, of drink. And then this is the profane oceans. I'm going to assume, I think that might be lava. Now that I think about it, this is a lava crater, which is quite big. The point of yearlings. So everything has a name. It's really impressive. So we're going to press enter to accept, and its name is Moyo Cadmade, the Mythical Realms, which is a fitting name. Oops. Now it's going to offload all the units, which again, this can take a little while. So if need be, I'll cut it out. Which I think I'm going to do. Cut this bit out. Alright, after a bit of a wait, we can finally start playing. All you have to do is press enter, there it goes. Alright, these are the 3 game modes that are built in. Well, 2 of them are game modes. The Legends is what I was talking about before, where you could go in and view absolutely every single little detail. Matter of fact, if we go in here, we'll just load it up real quick. Loading generally doesn't take that long, so hopefully. Alright, there we go. It's loading all the events. There we go. We have a whole bunch of historical figures, sites, artifacts, regions, underground regions, civilizations and other entities, structures, historical maps, and the Age of Myth. These are probably all the events. In 1, we have the Dwarf Necromancer, Fed Page figure, became the king of the ultimate nets. Interesting name. And then we can press P to show all the events. There's quite a few of them in here. In a time before time, the black monster Rutbait Struttard, the spiteful miseries, created Armor Dredged. I believe these are underground creatures which you encounter by digging in too deep, and we'll encounter those later. But you can actually just go through this and just read about everything, all the history and everything. It's really impressive. So we're going to go back and start playing. Adventurer mode allows you to play as a singular creature. I believe it's only dwarfs at the moment, or dwarves, and you can play through a hero's life or create your own adventure and just run around in fortresses, traveling across the land and all that. But what we're interested in is the game mode Dwarf Fortress. This allows you to control or oversee a fortress and help the dwarves grow the fortress and take on challenges and hopefully have lots of fun. So we're going to load that up real quick. Now before we actually get into the game, we have to set up 7 dwarves with weapons, items, and basically anything they need to survive, and then we have to choose an embark site, a place where we will go forth and build our fortress. Right now it's letting some time pass. This is new. I've been playing mostly the previous release, which I think was 38, but in 40 they released this. After you create a game, you set on embark, it counts down until it gets to those 2 little lines, and here we are, the world map. Now we can choose what we want to look, and we may actually just settle right here. It has sand, little soil, shallow metals, deep metals, and flux stone layer, which is all what we want, and it doesn't have an aquifer, and it's right on the edge of a mountain, which is actually perfect. The only thing that's not good is there's no river nearby. But if I move there, we still have shallow metals, deep stone metals, flux stone, but we don't have any trees. We want trees because I plan to do a lot of wood cutting. Oh, that's got aquifer in it, and aquifers are very annoying and potentially extremely deadly. Yeah, we need trees. Definitely need trees and a river. So what we're going to do, and just in case, I'm going to note this area and then add a note, and I'm going to just say that this is a possible site. If I could spell. And again, if I could spell. This is a possible site. There. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to search for a desired location, which is F. Now, don't really care about these items, but we do want flux stone layer. We do not want an aquifer. We do want a river. A river has a lot of advantages. First and foremost, you can redirect the river underground, so you can have unlimited water source and turn that unlimited water source into a power source for mechanical power or traps or ways to have fun. Now we're going to want some shallow metal, and we're going to want deep metal. We're going to want some soil, that way we can plant our crops on the surface as well as underground. And I don't care about clay, we can trade for that. So what we're going to do now is a search, and it's going to go through the entire map. These red X's indicate that we can't go there, and these little X's that are green yellowish, we can, that match our criteria. Now the one problem that we are going to run into is the fact that we'll get a lot of mountain sites, but we won't have any trees. Trees are very important because certain items cannot be made out of stone, such as beds. And you need beds. Your dwarves will be very, very angry without beds. And you do not want angry dwarves because lots of fun occurrences happen. It's just about done, so we can now browse our search results as soon as I figure out where my little X is. And, oh, I'm editing the menu like a bozo. Okay, there we go. See, there are no trees here, but there are flux stone and everything else we wanted. So now we have to go through and find one that... Oh no! Dwarf Fortress crashed. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Unfortunately, due to the fact Dwarf Fortress is in alpha, it is prone to crashing. So I actually highly suggest that we go through here real quick and we select, where is it? There's an option where it tells you to save. We want to enable the autosave feature so it's seasonal. So each time it changes into a season, it saves. Then the initial save, as soon as the game is loaded, it saves. Then pause on save you can turn on, but if you're like me and pause a lot, you're gonna have a lot of issues. And backup saves is not that important. So just have those set, because when you're playing and you do a lot of progress, such as lay out a lot of roads or walls, and then the game crashes, it will make you hate the game because you have to go through and do all that again. But I've gone ahead and ran our search results again, so all we gotta do is go through here. And everything's up here that we want, but it's also freezing. There's a river, just a small tidbit of a river, and there are no trees or vegetation at all because it's an ice continental shelf. So yeah, we don't want to settle there, but we might want to settle right here. No, there are no trees here either, which is a shame because we need trees. There are. We have sand, clay, very deep soil, shallow metals, deep metals, and then flux-stone. The problem with soil when you get deep is you can't engrave it, and I like to build my fortresses a bit deep, and then it makes it really hard to get the wealth of the fortress up. You have to dig out all the dirt and then place new stone walls, so I don't think we want to go there. Very deep soil. Yeah, let's go south a little bit and see what we can find. Here we go. No trees again. Oh, here we go. Although this doesn't have flux-stone. Flux-stone's important because it takes a very big need in metal industry. It's needed to make steel, which is very important in the later stages of the game because you'll need it for monsters and all that. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Find a suitable place, and I got cats in the background running around causing a ruckus. Oh, you guys probably actually heard that. Let's see, we need trees. Spares, heavily forested, sand, clay, but deep soil. We don't really want deep soil. And if clay, some soil, shallow metals, deep metals, and flux-stone. Now the problem with this is a perfect location. The problem is it's in the purple area, which is not a good area. I would embark on it this one time, but I kind of want this to be like an introductory game. I'm actually going to go a little far away from the evil land because that has a lot of fun. Oh, here we go. Now this is warm, which means I don't think the water will freeze in the winter, which is a bit of a problem because that's kind of how I redirect the river. But we have sand, clay, very deep soil. Again, what is with all this deep soil? I don't want deep soil. It causes a lot of trouble when trying to build a very pretty fort. Again, very deep soil. I don't want very deep soil. Little soil, but it also has no trees. We're just not going to find a good location. I'm actually just going to look for a location so I don't bore you guys out, and I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, come on, there's got to be one over here somewhere. Woodland, warm again. Scorching hot. Tropical ocean. Temperate. Woodland. Also very interesting water. Some soil, shallow metals, deep metals, flux-stone layer, and a river. Alright guys, I'm back, and I found a rather interesting plot. Now, this is the main map. This is the world map. You get to see everything but little detail. And this shows you a little more detail, and then over here is the local map, which is very local. Now, you'll see here we have two rivers that combine into one. And we only have these little spots here to settle on. This actually looks pretty interesting. I've never had this happen before. I'm kind of curious if I could build a wall between here and then have the fort in the middle protected by these two natural barriers. There's no actual mountains, which is normally how I settle. I'll dig into a mountainside and then I'll build up. I'm actually really interested in that, so we might give that a shot. We also have woodland, which has plenty of plenty of trees. Then other vegetation is moderate, which is pretty good. Then the surroundings are wilderness. Now, there are 3 levels, 3 different biomes, 3 different levels in those biomes. You have the good ones, which are like Joyous Wilds, can't remember the other 2, but they're like very, very good. Matter of fact, I think they're over here. I might be wrong. I think they're like the light blue. No, I don't think that's it. But anyways, there are 3 distinct biomes. You have the evil biomes, the normal biomes, and then like the happy, blessed biomes. when it's green like this, it generally means it's okay. If it's like yellow, you might run into some issues here and there, and then anything else is like bad. And purple, it's always bad. Bad, 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 bad. You don't want to settle there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to press E to embark. And then normally you can just press the play now and it'll give you like random stuff for your fort to start off with. That is not a good idea. It usually gives you not very good stuff. Then you can prepare for the journey carefully, or if you have the Lazy Noob Pack installed, you can just choose one of these in here. Normally I always choose the DFvid Tuts 2015. It has 2 miners and it evenly distributes the skills. This is basically how I would set it up, but it's already set up, so there's no point to do it. Now, press enter to prepare to embark. Now these are our dwarves. We have Sakzul, Rolvad, Sazir, Sorast. Sorry about that. Cat's attacking my back. I don't know why. Mo Nom, Kivish, and Tekkud. They have very odd names, but they're dwarves, so we'll let them have that. Now, over here, when you can choose their skills. This is our miner. The second one below that's our miner. I think this guy's a woodworker. No, he's a mason. And he's our carpenter. Then this guy's our farmer. This guy is another woodcutter. Okay, we have a carpenter and a woodcutter. And then we have a skilled crossbowman, ambusher, and dodger. He will be our military dwarf eventually. So next we'll take a look at our items. Over here you can choose items. You have a set amount of points and you can spend that on items. All our stuff's spent because we've already done it. And for a general overlook, you're going to want like copper pickaxes, some copper bolts so your hunter can hunt, food, seeds. You have to have alcohol. If your dwarves don't have alcohol, your dwarves will go absolutely insane. And they'll also work slower, and they get a bad fault. If you have too many bad faults, your dwarf eventually loses his cool, starts beating up other dwarves. Those dwarves start beating up our dwarves, and it's just a very bad experience and lots of fun. So we have all our items. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to name our group. I'm going to clear. I can't remember how you clear it all. There we go. Alright, so we're going to name our group. Basically, who's embarking. I think the fortress gets named this. So let's take a look. What should we name our fort? We got Charred, let's see. Charred Daggers. Charred the Influential Daggers. That doesn't sound right. I'll actually clear that. The Influential Daggers of Beasts? The Influential Daggers of Beasts. That sounds pretty cool to me, so we'll do that. And its dwarven name, let's see if I can pronounce it. Immasterist Fair. Yeah, don't ask me how to pronounce their stuff. I'm not very good with it. But after all that, we can actually get into the game. So press E to embark, and we're on our way. Finally, after creating the world, setting our dwarves out, we are finally on our way to set up our fortress. You have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes to the forbidden wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of Kinloljim. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes substance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you. But it is spring now, enough time to delve Shakir lodgings. Here, the alligators get hungry. The new chapter of dwarven history begins here, at this place. Mengrag, lash clapped, strike the earth. And with that, here we are. Oh, that's interesting. This right here probably doesn't make a lot of sense to you guys real quick, but how to explain this? Alright, up here we have X, or is that Y, and then we have X or Y here. But we have Z layers. This shows the game as a 3D world. So basically we can go up and down. Now what's interesting here, let me show you, is this is open space. This is our river right here. That's our river. This is open space. These two rivers are actually fed from a single river that has turned into a waterfall, which is actually really cool. Because what we can do is, let's see, oh, we do have a bit of a cliff over here, which is really nice. This is actually a really pretty area. I haven't had a map generated like this. But what we can do, due to that reason, we can set up our fortress, like over here, and we'll already be in a stone-like layer where we can start getting stuff. And we'll press K real quick to take a look. I think that's a type of ore. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. That's a new name. But it's actually really cool that we got a waterfall over here. Let's take a quick look at the wildlife. We have a, keep forgetting, common snapping turtle. And these look some type of lizards. River otters. I was way off there. But let's take a quick look at our dwarves. They have formed a party. They've parked their wagon right over here by the very deep chasm. I mean, gee whiz, that is deep. I hope they don't fall in it. We actually gotta be careful because if we get attacked, our dwarves will actually jump out of the way down to their doom, and dwarves can't swim. But at this point, I'm going to conclude the episode. I know we haven't done much, but bear with us. This game is a lot of fun when you get into it, especially if you start reading the reports and see what these creatures do. It's hilarious. But tune in next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a comment below, like the episode. If you have any suggestions for what I should do in this episode, the next episode, let me know. I'll be more happy to try some viewer suggestions. So till next time, see you guys later.